Exploding national debt, out-of-control spending, bailouts of failing firms. Tomorrow's leaders face overwhelming problems amidst rapid economic, political, and social change.
People believe that the national debt of the United States is $16 trillion. But when we factor in Social Security and the unfunded debt of Medicaid and Medicare going forward, it's close to $100 trillion.
It's astonishing to me and very alarming that even our own government says that we should expect trillion-dollar deficits every year as far into the future as the eye can see.
Such startling problems have caused economic and political leaders to take a careful look at the mistakes that have led to such dramatic downturns. Experts say that in order to keep a free economy, it is essential for leaders and citizens to truly understand how the free market works and the foundational principles that allow it to exist.
The deficit that matters the most is not the one in the federal budget, as horrific as that is. It's the deficit in character that in turn produces things like out-of-control spending, massive deficits, going for current gratification at the expense of future generations. I saw how character, or the absence of it, could produce disaster for a people when I visited Bolivia. In 1978, 1 million Bolivian pesos was worth $40,000. In 1985, when I visited the country, I bought 1 million pesos for $5. So what that means is that what was once worth a year's wage, only 7 years later, was not worth an hour's wage. The cost of everything went up. Meat, eggs, all groceries, clothing, hardware, cars, housing. Even an everyday item like a bottle of cola was rocketing up in price, and it created problems for everybody. The poor were devastated because their incomes could not keep up with rising prices. There's an inseparable connection between liberty and character.
Because the overall character and financial success of a nation depends upon the character and success of the individuals who make up that nation, many of today's economic leaders are working to reach out to the individual leaders of the next generation to help them learn from our past and recent mistakes.
For the next generation of leaders, they are going to be saddled with how to undo the large accumulation of government spending and government debt that we've gotten ourselves into. And that's a very difficult task. And it's going to require people that are educated based on sound economic principles.
It's important to educate, and we do that. But we also think it's just as critical to inspire. We have to inspire young people to lofty standards of character, because reforming the world begins with reforming ourselves.
The Foundation for Economic Education leads the way in raising up tomorrow's leaders by educating young people about the economic and ethical principles that govern a free society. While many economists use charts and equations, FEE explains concepts in ways that are easy to understand through online content, summer seminars, and their flagship magazine, The Free Man.
Character ought to be a lifelong venture for each and every one of us. And if you start with young people and impress upon them the importance of building a life of character, you've made an investment that'll pay dividends for decades, and you've shaped the future in the process.
This is my second FEE seminar, and some of the things that I've learned are just about economic freedom. I've only really heard things from the left and right wing, so it's good to get a different perspective.
I learned about the Foundation for Economic Education after my daughter was invited to attend a summer seminar by one of her college professors. And I found that while she was a product of some very good schools and very good education, the Foundation for Economic Education really educates in liberty and really rounds out her economic development and education.
Well, I was lucky enough to have such an incredibly unique internship opportunity at FEE when I was doing the archival work 2.5 years ago. And the knowledge that I got from that, combined with understanding that you have to have a good character, in order for free markets to really work, it's really helped in business because I have to run a precious metals business, and you're not going to get business unless people trust you.
This country and this economy's future depend upon the leaders of tomorrow and their ability to understand the connection between individual liberty and economic success. the Foundation for Economic Education. Inspire, educate, connect. For more information, please visit us online at fee.org.